You may feel slightly empty, possibly even a little apathetic, like the day passes without landing anywhere inside you. But it isn't actually emptiness. Don't mistake that subtle feeling of missing out, because deep inside, you know you are not a conformist or needy. You are self-sufficient. Subconsciously, you already know something important. Regardless if you're single or in a relationship, you don't need outside validation to prove that you are loved. You don't need a holiday to confirm your worth. You don't need a performance of affection to feel chosen. And because of that, Valentine's Day doesn't hook into you the way it's designed to. You wake up and the world feels louder than usual. Red hearts in store windows, rose petals in ads, a soft pressure in the air that says, today is supposed to mean something. And yet, inside you, there's a quiet neutrality. Not bitterness, not grief, just calm. You don't feel behind. You don't feel forgotten. You don't feel like something essential is missing. And that's the paradox. If you are in a relationship, you know your significant other loves you so strongly that they don't have to validate their love and appreciate it once a year, but they treat you like the worthy person you are every day. If you are single, you know that you don't require a good relationship with anyone but yourself. Because when you don't care about Valentine's Day, it's not because you don't love. It's because you don't outsource your worth. You don't tolerate fakeness. You have already figured out that FOMO is what sells. And you don't buy into the marketing tactics of the holiday. You already know who you are. You already know what you bring. You don't need a ritualized reminder to tell you that you matter. That's not numbness. That's emotional self-possession. Psychologically, this archetype is deeply misunderstood. You are someone who has internalized self-worth rather than borrowing it. In psychology, this is called intrinsic validation, the ability to feel valuable without external rewards or approval. Your nervous system does not spike or collapse based on attention, gifts, or symbolic gestures. You don't reject romance. You reject dependency. There is also autonomy, one of the core pillars of psychological well-being. Autonomy is the capacity to define meaning for yourself rather than inheriting it from social scripts. You don't resist Valentine's Day out of rebellion. You simply don't let it dictate your emotional reality. And finally, there is nonconformity without isolation. You are not detached. You are not avoidant. You are simply not governed by collective expectations. You can love deeply without turning love into proof of existence. You don't need flowers to feel chosen. You don't need a partner to feel complete. You don't need public validation to feel real. The mental health benefit of this stance is subtle but powerful. You don't sacrifice authenticity for acceptance. You don't shrink to be wanted. You don't perform happiness to be included. You are emotionally independent but not closed. Self-sufficient but not lonely. Grounded but not hardened. Because not caring about Valentine's Day doesn't mean you don't value connection. It means you value conscious connection. You choose love, not because a calendar tells you to, but because your inner world is already whole. And when judgment comes, when people assume something must be wrong, you don't rush to explain yourself. You know the difference between being alone and being aligned. Being single does not equate being alone, and being in a relationship does not equate not being alone. Many people have felt more alone while in the wrong relationship than when single. So if today feels ordinary to you, let it. If it feels quiet, trust that quiet. If it feels neutral, honor that neutrality. Remind yourself, my worth does not fluctuate with attention. Tell yourself, I am emotionally strong because I do not abandon myself for approval. Know this deeply. I am not behind. I am not lacking. I am not incomplete. As Carl Rogers once said, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. And maybe that's the real meaning here. The goal is not to become superior. The goal is not to ever feel inferior. The goal is to always know and feel and believe the truth that you are worthy and enough. If this resonated, Share it with someone who needs permission to feel whole exactly as they are. Subscribe if you would like to explore the parts of the human mind most people never name.